On the Megacast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors. Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV 89.3 and streaming on MyMyTV.com.
This is My Michigan TV, a unique news streaming television network. To watch, simply add our app to your smartphone or smart TV. You can also watch online at MyMyTV.com. My Michigan TV. My.
Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live. I am Larry Nyland. Thank you to everyone from West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake for tuning in on this wonderful Thursday morning. The Splash Live is Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily TV and radio streaming show. Watch us live Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. on Civic Center TV. Catch us also on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, on the web at civiccentertv.com, on Civic Center TV's Facebook app, and you can even listen live on 89.3 Lakes FM. The Splash Live is part of Civic Center TV and Lakes FM's 90 minutes of live local programming. Let's take a look at the weather coming up here. Another warm day on tap. We had 78 beautiful degrees yesterday here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Today it's going to turn a little bit cloudy with a high of 74. Tonight there's going to be a few showers rolling in with a low of about 44. And then on Friday, cloudy skies early but turning clear with the temps struggling to just make it to 50 degrees. Looking at some headlines today, this afternoon at the clerk's office in West Bloomfield's Town Hall, they will be holding the 5th annual flu vaccination clinic put on by Alana's Foundation. The clinic will be held from 3:30 to 5 p.m. today. All attendees must complete an online consent form at alanas.vna.org. That's alanas.vna.org. And then enter clinic ID of 1302 and passcode of ALANAS2022. This past weekend at the West, I guess we're going to have a little bit, we're going to go right into our football story here. It's going to be the West Bloomfield Lakers football team that is getting back on track after last week's big win, 41-14 over Lake Orion. We're just one day away from the Lakers welcoming in the Oxford Wildcats, who continue their emotional season following the tragic events of last November. As always, tune into the game live on Civic Center TV and WBTV starting at 6 p.m. with the pregame show. And if you don't have time to sit down and watch, listen on the go at 89.3 Lakes FM. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking with our good friends at West Bloomfield Parks. That's next here on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
You know, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I am Larry Nyland. Well, fall is upon us and the temps are getting cooler, but that doesn't mean things are slowing down for the folks at West Bloomfield Parks. Joining us now to talk about some of the great events they have on tap is Marketing Associate from West Bloomfield Parks, Abby Burgess. Abby, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So, Abby, I don't think I've had the pleasure of speaking to you previously. So could you start off by telling us a little bit about your background and how you ended up working for West Bloomfield Parks?
Of course. So I'm actually fairly new to West Bloomfield Parks. And I'm very excited that I've taken on the role of marketing associate, which means that I've taken lead on all of our social media channels, as well as some of our photography projects and some of our feature writing. And I really came to West Bloomfield Parks sort of out of happenstance. I don't have a marketing background. My background's actually in rhetoric professional writing. So I was super excited to take on this sort of new role. And everyone here has really just made such a wonderful environment. And I'm excited to continue working in this field.
So I would be remiss, Abby, if I didn't ask you, what does rhetoric writing mean? What does that mean?
Yes, it's sort of a broad field, and that's anywhere from creating style guides to feature writing, instruction writing, anything along those lines. So it sort of does tie in with marketing. So taking on this role, there was some things that were sort of new challenges and other things that I was a little more familiar with.
So, Abby, you do mention that you do handle the social media at West Bloomfield Parks and photograph a lot of the West Bloomfield Park events. What have been some of the most memorable events you've had the chance to attend and document with your photos?
Oh, goodness. We have so many different events, and we really offer such a variety that I would say that it is a little bit difficult to choose, but I am a bit partial to this fall weather. So I am excited just to get to see all of the colors changing in the parks and getting the ability to photograph those.
I know it's amazing what great photographers we become when the trees are so beautiful instead of just green everywhere. So you have an event coming up called October Green Dream. As an MSU Spartan alum, I thought maybe that had something to do with MSU hopefully beating Michigan in football this year, but I guess that would not be a dream. That's probably just a fantasy. So what really is October Green Dream about?
Yes, so our Green Dream is a social media campaign that we launched earlier this year. And each month we have a different topic and we share eco-friendly tips and tricks on our social media channels that people can easily implement at home. And we also have our Living the Green Dream as a part of that, which is how we implement those green practices here at West Bloomfield Parks. So our October topic is reducing the use of single-use plastics. So our first post actually launched on our Facebook channel yesterday. So head over there and you can read up on how to reduce your use of single-use plastic straws and keep an eye out for future posts on how to reduce your use of all single-use plastics.
So can I ask you, how can we reduce our use of single-use straws?
Of course, it is, it's something that we're all kind of used to, and it can be kind of difficult to refuse a single-use straw, but that is one of our tips is next time you're at your favorite restaurant or you're enjoying your favorite beverage, simply don't use a straw, or if you would prefer to use a straw, try bringing a reusable straw. There's so many wonderful options nowadays for reusable straws. So then that way we're avoiding all of that marine debris that is caused by single-use plastic straws.
It's not only straws, it's the forks, the spoons, the knives. I mean, sometimes some takeout places just give you so much when you don't even ask for it,
Of course. So that's sort of our goal with this is just teaching people ways that they can reduce all of those debris that we are seeing in our environment, whether that's finding reusable options or simply refusing the single-use plastic options.
So, Abby, always a big event for families in the greater West Bloomfield area is the annual Trick or Treat Trail. Can you tell us about this year's event?
Of course, we're super excited. Our Trick or Treat Trail is coming up on October 23rd. And we will have 4 time slots available starting at 3 p.m. And it's just a super fun event for you and your kiddos to get out and walk our half-mile paved trail at Marshbank Park. And along the trail, we will have 40 different vendor stations who will be passing out candy. And your kiddos also get a treat bag to collect all of their candy, a cider, and a donut. So it's supposed to be a super fun time, and we hope you guys will join us. Our non-resident registration actually opens next week on October 10th, and this event will sell out. So if you're hoping to participate, register soon.
So do you know how many total people you can sign up for the event?
So it should say when you go on to register. I'm not exactly sure what time slots are still available. Like I said, this event will sign out. So there will be an option to register everyone in your family. So make sure you head over to our website at wbparks.org to make sure you snag the time slot that you want.
And then coming up in just about a month, it's the annual Heroes Breakfast, always a great event to share with the many veterans who reside in our area. Can you tell us a little bit about this year's breakfast?
Of course. Our Heroes Appreciation Breakfast is coming up on November 8th, and that will be from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at West Bloomfield Middle School. And we're very honored to get to present this event with the West Bloomfield School District, the West Bloomfield Township, and the West Bloomfield Public Library. And this event really just goes to show our appreciation for the people who have served in our community. And it will feature a breakfast, a presentation by the West Bloomfield Honor Guard, a live speaker, and live entertainment. And something that's super special about this event is that every veteran who attends receives a gift bag with different donated items inside. So if you are a local business or organization who would like to donate, you can contact me or you can visit our website, wbparks.org, because we really would love to highlight all of the generous businesses in West Bloomfield and show our appreciation for those who have served in our community.
All right, Abby, before I let you go, any other events or information you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, so if you don't yet, make sure you follow all of our social media channels. We will have highlights from all of our past events and upcoming events, so then you guys are ahead of the curve and you know what's coming up here at West Bloomfield Parks. And like I said, we'll also be featuring all of the beautiful fall weather and all of our beautiful W Parks locations. So make sure you guys get out and enjoy the fall weather.
Well, Abby, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you and your team, as always, for all your hard work there at West Bloomfield Parks.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's Abby Burgess, Marketing Associate for West Bloomfield Parks. We're going to take a quick break here on the Splash Live, and we will be right back after this message.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Let's whoop it up for these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the cheering going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
You know, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I am Larry Nana. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that flu vaccination clinic that's going to be put on today by Alana's Foundation. The clinic will be held from 3:30 to 5 p.m. today at the Township Clerk's office in West Bloomfield. All attendees must complete an online consent form at alanas.vna.org. That's alanas.vna.org. And then when they get to that site, you need to enter the clinic ID of 1302 and passcode of ALANAS2022. This past weekend at the West Bloomfield Fire Department open house, our own Tyler Keefe had the chance to sit down and speak with Alana's father, Zachary Yaksich, who told Alana's story and how her tragic death helped inspire Alana's foundation.
Alana's foundation was named after my daughter. Her name was Alana. She passed away from the flu when she was 5 years old. That was in 2003, believe it or not. She'd have been 25 years old today, so time really flies. What we do is primarily we started out, it's just educating people. That was our mission, to educate people about the dangers of the flu and that you can in fact die from the flu and how important it is to get the vaccine. But more importantly, what we do is we make the vaccine convenient and affordable for people to receive. So coming to events like this, a family can come here. You don't have to make a doctor's appointment for each child. You can avoid the office visit and get the whole family done at one time. So it's convenient. If you don't have insurance, you don't have the money to pay for the shot, the foundation, that's what we're here for. We cover the cost of the shot. So we try to remove those barriers that would otherwise prevent people from getting their vaccine.
Especially for those younger individuals in our family who don't have quite the same immune system that the elder individuals in the community might have from all those years of their immune system battling different diseases, battling different bacteria. Just how important is it for these families to get their kids vaccinated against the flu every single year, not taking years off, but every year?
Yeah, it's as important for the children as well as the adults. That the challenging part about the flu is something like you said, it has to be done. It should be done every single year. But it's important because you got to build up those immunities, right? You got to have herd immunity. So you want to really, and children, as you said, they are, they're children, so they're putting their hands in their mouth all the time, and they're, when you go to school is where most of the transmission usually of the flu is. That's why that's part of the peak season. Children go to school and they come home and they bring it to their parents, and it spreads throughout the community. So it's really important to get the entire family vaccinated.
We're joined by Zachary Yaksich from Alana's Foundation here at the Fire Department Open House in West Bloomfield, noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station number 1. Parking available at West Bloomfield High School and the shuttle available courtesy of West Bloomfield Parks. So, Zachary, as this organization was founded, of course, in the wake of tragedy and the loss of your daughter, what really prompted finding the organization and having this be the way that you wanted to help prevent these things from happening to other families, other individuals that may not know just how dangerous the seasonal flu can be?
Yeah, it was really, it was my way of healing initially. When my daughter passed away, I had no idea. My children then were up to date on all their vaccines other than the flu vaccine, and we didn't know. And when she died and I realized it was something that could have been prevented with something as simple as the shot, I wanted to tell everybody because I didn't want anybody to experience the tragedy that I had of losing a child. So that's how I used it as a healing process for myself. And I know in my heart that it's hard to put a tangible number on it, but I know in our heart that we're saving lives. And if I can go to sleep at night and think that, geez, I saved one family from having to endure the pain that I did, it brings me joy. And it's a way of my daughter living on, keeping her legacy.
Again, the Alana's Foundation Flu Vaccination Clinic is today from 3:30 to 5 p.m. at the clerk's office at West Bloomfield Town Hall. To pre-register, and you must pre-register, go to alanas.vna.org. That's alanas.vna.org. Well, moving on to our next guest. When you sit in a public place and just people watch, it quickly becomes very apparent that etiquette is not what it used to be in our society. Joining us now to talk about why that might be and what we can do to improve our etiquette is a good friend to all of our programs here on Civic Center TV and MyTV, Stacey Amy, the etiquette guru. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Larry.
So, people often complain that things aren't as good as they once were in many facets of life. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it isn't. But one thing that I can safely say is truly as bad as it's ever been is etiquette. Why have we seemingly lost our way in the department of having good manners?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I only know the fix for it. There's a lot to be upset about right now in our country and our world, but people need to get back to it, being kind to one another. It is lost. People watch too, and it's so upsetting to me, just as a person, not because of the etiquette, but just people don't understand that it's kind of a tricky thing. When you are not nice to people and nasty and things like that, your body receives that at the cellular level, what your emotions are, what your mind is doing. And if it's filled with negativity, you're only hurting yourself. So just getting back to the basics of just little simple things, smiling at one another, offering your hand, open a door, saying thank you when people show you a kindness, being aware of what your actions are doing, what you're doing, and how it may impact someone else. I think that's important. And I can't say it enough. If somebody is doing something around you that is aggravating, before you get to that point where you're so angry that it's not going to come across well, say something. Just say, excuse me, I can't see. Could you please sit down, or something like that before you get to that point where you're hurting yourself with negativity.
So, Stacey, one place that you can go where you certainly see a lot of bad etiquette is when you're eating out at a restaurant. I mean, let's go right from the start of when you arrive at a restaurant. If you're meeting someone, should you wait for them to get there, or should you get seated first? What are the good etiquette rules as far as that's concerned?
I think anytime you can wait and be seated together, that's preferable. Of course, you're going to do what the restaurant is going to want you to do. If they want to seat you, that's fine. But you do not start eating if there's like a bread basket on the table. And you should keep your menu down and wait for your guest or guests to arrive. And the whole thing with eating out, it's kind of a song and dance between you and your servers. So basically waiting for everybody. If it's a dinner party, and you have an actual host or hostess, you could look to them for your cues of when you would put your napkin in your lap and things like that. But basically, you're just waiting. Everybody's there. You're deciding on what you would like to eat from the menu. Everybody puts their menu down, and that signals to your server they're ready to order. And once that's all taken care of, and maybe your drinks are served, then it's appropriate to put your napkin in your lap. And if bread is served or your salad, of course, you begin eating.
So the topic of the napkin, which you referenced there, so is that how it works, that you don't put the napkin in your lap until the food is served? Because I've seen some people, they sit down at the table and the first thing they do is put their napkin in their lap, or is that the proper way to do things?
Typically, you want to take care of business. So you want to get your meal ordered and have that be taken care of. And then you can relax a little. And if it's just you and your family, of course, you're going to put your napkin in your lap and wait for things to be served. But again, if you do have an actual host or hostess at a dinner party, you want to wait for them to address the napkin before you do.
Now, let's suppose you have to get up from the table, perhaps use the restroom. Where do you, and your napkin was in your lap, and then you pick your napkin up. Where do you put your napkin as you go to the restroom or leave the table?
Sure. So you stand up and put your napkin on your chair, and you can also put your utensils in we call it at rest, with your knife and fork in a V. And that tells your server, oh, they're coming back to their meal and not to clear their plate. So you put your napkin in your lap, you go to the restroom and come back, you put your napkin on your chair and, go to the restroom, make a phone call, whatever you're needing to do, and come back and put it on your lap. And only when you're completely finished eating, your napkin comes up on the side. This is debatable. I've seen it both ways. But typically to the right side, lay your napkin and push in your chair when you leave.
So sometimes people be thrust into a situation where they're at a fine dining restaurant that maybe they're not used to going to, and then you sit down and there's a plethora of utensils there that you might not be used to seeing. There's several forks, several spoons. Is it best to just, if you don't know what to do, to ask someone, or because a lot of people will just pick one up and just kind of guess?
Again, if you have a host or hostess, watch them and what they're doing. Otherwise, just a little tip, start from the outside and move in. So you start with those utensils furthest away from the plate and move in if the table is set that way, because things you're going to see it 100 different ways in your lifetime. But typically, if you have 3 forks on your left side, the first fork is going to be a salad fork. In America, that's typically what we start with.
So at the end of dinner, it's always when the bill comes. It's sometimes if you're with friends that you're sort of close to, but not really close to, it's always kind of that thing of, do we all just kind of pass the bill around? Do we try to pay half? What's the good etiquette in dealing with a bill when it comes?
So the bill, I think, as much as you can get ahead of that, that's to your benefit to kind of curtail any kind of awkward feelings. It doesn't have to be awkward. So what I mean is, if you are inviting someone to eat up front, you're telling them, would you like to join me Dutch treat? And then that's taken care of, or it's my treat. But if it's not established beforehand, when you're ordering, you could say, can we have separate checks? And if not, when the check comes, you can just say, if nobody wants to treat, then yes, of course, you're just, oh, I forgot how much my meal was. Can I look at that bill too? If someone is insistent on paying, let them. Don't get into a big argument. You can say, well, okay, that's fine. Can I get the tip? Or then I'll treat next time, something like that. And it does, just don't let it be uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be. If people are all kind of looking to one another, not sure what to do, you take the reins. I think when people are uncertain, if somebody takes the lead, it makes everybody else relax. So you can always try that too. You know the right thing to do, and you're not trying to, rip anybody off or anything like that. So it's all good. And if it's friends, just, it should be a relaxed situation. Don't let it get uncomfortable. It shouldn't have to be.
So if you witness poor etiquette from others, and maybe they may be rude to a server or something like that, I mean, can you bring that up at that point, or should you just kind of wait till the meal's over and maybe never see those people again, or bring it up to them at that point?
Yeah, I kind of shy away from that. I think if you're, going to be reprimanding somebody or scolding them, that's going to be on you, and you're going to look bad. Unless they are blatantly abusive to somebody, I think then I would step in and, just say, don't do that. Something, simple like that, but I'm not going to scold anybody. Unless it's in my own family, like if one of my children would have done something very rude, of course, I would address it and bring her my husband. I would say something to them, but to other friends, I probably would let it go. And if it was that terrible, I won't be dining with them again.
So, Stacey, I just want to quickly bring up, so I was at the Lions game this past week, and I was sitting right on the aisle, and we knew a bunch of people would be coming in and out of the aisle, but it's the percentage of people that say, excuse me, when they're trying to get by you, and you have to make a huge effort to let them by. It's got to be like 20%. And what are your thoughts on that? Like, why can't people just be polite, even though you're at a sporting event?
I just think people have forgotten themselves. And again, you're not going to school anybody. You're going to come across as the one who has a problem there. It's going to be provoking people. So I think you can only start with yourself, and you behave the proper way and not being sarcastic to those types of people. There's the people that will say, you're welcome or something like that. It doesn't really help anything. And truly, again, at that cellular level, it's harming you. So I think unless people can get a hold of themselves and realize how important what they do, how it impacts other people, realize that again, you can only protect yourself and just let it roll off your back. There's really nothing else you can do unless they're physically in your space or, you know, touching you in some way or crowding you. Then of course you have every right. But as I said, try to say something before you get to the point where you're so angry that it's going to be a problem, you know, and that's the best thing I can suggest. Just, you know, people can't make other people see things until they see it themselves. And yes, there's a problem in society, definitely. But just, you know, trying your best to maintain yourself is the best thing I can suggest.
Well, Stacey, we want to thank you so much for your insight and keeping our etiquette up to snuff. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a nice day.
That's Stacey Amy, the etiquette guru. I want to thank her and also thank Abby Burgess from West Bloomfield Parks. That's the Splash Live for today. West Bloomfield, we'll see you tomorrow.